I've been very late on this video, but recently there's been a reveal of a new Gundam film which is part of the Universal Century. Which is funny because Universal Century has been getting a lot more content as of recently. Like in the past 2 years, we've been getting a ton of Universal Century content than like in the past 5 years. But yes, this trailer has been something that had me really excited since the first announcement, and specifically one from Yoshiyuki Tomino's Universal Century, which had me excited. We already have 2 more Hathaway movies coming out soon, so what could it be this time? A new translation of Double Zeta? Maybe even a retelling of F91? The opportunities seemed endless. And then I saw the title that killed a tiny part of me while reading it for the first time. Mobile Suit Gundam, Cucuruz Doan's Island. It's really hard to express how I felt. I was really happy that we were getting a movie that retells this episode, but then I remembered that they're making a movie out of that episode. One thing that did have me excited though was that the character designer of the original series, Yoshikazu Yasuhiko, was returning to Gundam to direct this film, which had me hyped because he worked on the Gundam The Origin series recently, which was pretty good, and he has a very distinct style. The moment I saw Amuro, I knew that he was taking helm as a director. But while the CGI looks okay from what I've seen, I'm still a little bummed that we might not see that much 2D animated mechs at all, but I'm still glad that he's making a return to Gundam anyway, because I've gotten a lot more excited from the stuff that I've seen. If you don't know what Doan's Island is, then don't worry, because this all ties back to the very first Gundam series that changed anime forever.
Cucuruz Doan no Shima.
Doan's Island was the 15th episode in the original Mobile Suit Gundam series that aired back in the late 70s, which is pretty hard to come across physically now because almost every release outside of Japan doesn't have this one episode on it, due to the series director Yoshiyuki Tomino's personal request to cut it out of the release. Which is completely understandable because this episode was quite a mess. If you don't know what Mobile Suit Gundam even is, or what the series is even about, is that it takes place in the year 0079, where humanity has migrated into space and there is a massive war between Space Noise and those that live on Earth that belong to the Earth Federation or the Principality of Zeon. Amidst the war, an unlikely group of Federation soldiers and civilians are forced to work together to survive attack after attack from the Principality of Zeon, as they try to obtain and destroy the Federation's new mobile suit, the RX-78-2 Gundam. In the Doan's Island episode, it revolves around the main protagonist, Amuro Ray, stumbling across an island after finding an enemy soldier whose goal is to survive and stay out of the war between the Federation and Zeon in order to protect a group of children. And this episode is probably one of the only episodes that has some of the worst bits of animation in the entire series. It's kind of funny because in a way, this episode is what defines the series to other people, and most common misconceptions made some newcomers believe that this show was just as bad as how this one episode looked, which flat out isn't true. There's a little bit of history involving why Gundam declined in terms of animation, and it's not just specifically the 15th episode that suffered. The character designer, Yoshikazu Yasuhiko, was also the animation director and the supervisor of the series, and was responsible for correcting most of the keyframes so that they looked more similar to the character and mechanical designs. And after he was sent to the hospital after collapsing while working in the Sunrise studio, the show lost their major player, and thus the series suffered in terms of consistency and how it looked. And one of the weirder parts of this was that he was still credited as the animation supervisor and director, even after being in a hospital until the end of the show's run. While the episode didn't look impressive, it had a pretty good concept and was something that could have been pulled off well, which is what made me a little bit excited for this movie. The episode mainly opened up the idea to the viewers that the enemy could have good people. It wasn't something that was really touched on that much in the original few episodes, but this episode mainly humanizes the enemy that the main characters are fighting, which I really hope they put this movie in Doan's perspective, or at least Zeon's perspective throughout the film, so we could really get attached to the character. So if you're new to the franchise, I definitely recommend at least watching the original Mobile Suit Gundam series before watching a new movie when it comes out, or at least watch the compilation films. I think they're on Netflix now in a lot of countries, and the third one was pretty good. So, yeah, that's kind of the background info surrounding Doan's Island. If you enjoyed this short video, let me know if you're excited about the new movie or not. I'm really curious about what other people think about it. Sorry for missing a few uploads. December has been a very busy month, so expect the next Berserk video soon, and look forward to more Gundam content soon as well. This year has been kind of weird for me, but thank you all for watching and subscribing. I feel really guilty for not posting, and I'm still getting subs, and I haven't posted in like a month or so I really appreciate you all for watching and subscribing. I hope you had a good Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever else you all celebrate during this holiday season, and I will hopefully see you all next time in the year 2022.
Hey, I'm 60, why not really get me? Hey, I'm 60, why not respect me?